Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of my YouTube viewership. I am here to impart thoughts upon you that the Rotary Club saw fit to pay me $300 for. As I wrote this speech, I thought to myself, strange, isn't it, that I should come to love writing as much as I do, because I didn't come into this talent until freshman year of high school. Actors often come into their abilities in elementary school, if not earlier. Visual artists, sculptors, and painters the same way. However, my talent arose from something that the public school system wasn't very keen on encouraging in me or any of its charges. However, I had very attentive parents who saw what I loved and made sure that I would grow to respect and love what I did even more so. But when I would return from the camps I'd been away to at the summer, I would find precious few people that wanted to share in my passion. In truth, students would decry my passion. I have come up against opposition, both hateful and vehement, telling me that English, in all its forms of mastery, is the most worthless thing the public school system can teach us. As a freshman, I had no way to refute that. Its shock value stunned me speechless. But when I picked up a flyer for the Rotary 4-way test, I realized I had the perfect way to express the innate beauty and vitalness of writing. In this speech, I will prove that writing is truth, that it is fair, that it builds goodwill and better friendships, and that it is beneficial to all concerned. Now, starting with truth. Truth is defined as a verifiable and indisputable fact. The first thing one thinks of in connection with writing is textbooks, political treatises, philosophical tracts, at a stretch. But we sometimes forget that fiction, when penned with a clear mind and purpose, writes its own trans-universal truths. Communist pigs will take the farm, says George Orwell. Good triumphs evil, says J.K. Rowling. The Lord knows his business, John Irving. This is a vital part to any education, especially if one tends to major in something concerning real-world ethics. Now, is writing fair? Briefly touched upon, works like Night by Elie Wiesel and Life in the Annex by Anne Frank are really the epitome of the fairness that writing can provide for us. As history marches on, bigoted and uncaring of those it leaves ground to the dust, writing allows their stories to come back into the sunlight to grace the written page. But there is a further humanitarian aspect to writing, that of the stories waiting to be told within us. Think about the 7 billion people in this world and all that accrued life wisdom they could share with us. Think about the dozens of books our own singular lives would occupy. And that's just our experiences. Think about our creations. Every man and woman alive is a font of originality, thinking things no man or woman has ever thought of or will ever think, because we are each and every one of us unique. Writing opens that cage and lets those glorious doves free into the sunlight. Now, does writing build better friendships? Take yourselves back 20 years ago. And I mean yourselves because I didn't exist then. Everyone had landlines, for the most part. But even if we did, everybody still wrote letters to keep up with those friends you met at summer camp or the girls you met on that business trip. Everybody wrote letters, and it allowed people to really feel the weight and the heft of the English language, to pen what they knew, and to really understand the effect their words had on people. Nowadays, texting is a standard norm, grammar's going straight out of the window, and College Humor says we're all going to be talking in emojis soon. That's terrifying. But writing allows you to continue that axiom, communication is key, and those that do write in such a sense know how to benefit from a friendship properly. Does writing promote goodwill? Writing has, for centuries, appeared in newspapers, bringing current events and differing views and opinions to people worldwide, at no cost from the writer whatsoever. That is truly the epitome of goodwill. And even before the Chicago Times, the Chicago Tribune, or the New York Times, we had the Boston, the New York, and the Virginia Gazettes, those colonial presses, inspired by the efforts of people like Madison, Monroe, Jefferson, the very same people that wrote the Federalist Papers, the expression of angst that we felt under the rule of a tyrant. And we were under the rule of a tyrant, even as people are today, where the press and social media can allow their angst to get out to the world and render aid. In fact, writing culminated in the greatest document of our history, the Declaration of Independence, primogeniture of the virtues of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This, thanks to writing, and writing thanks to the education of those 55 men of the Continental Congress. Education not available to all at the time, but which is now available to each and every one of us, if we were but to reach out and take it. Lastly, is writing beneficial to all concerned? Writing and reading have long been proved to fire off portions of your brain as yet unused until you come into contact with these hobbies, increasing capacity for intellect across all subjects. Writing is our legacy, allowing us to look into the misty past, relearn what is forgotten, and see how far we've come. Writing lets us preserve our own legacy, become a part of our own history, and even to guess the future, with enough foresight as men like Verne and Orwell have done for decades, if not centuries, in books and plays. Writing is a flame, bright, glowing, banishing illness and ignorance, allowing us to stumble forth into this world with some measure of sense. Writing is the Templar exemplary, wielding a shining sword girdled in silver and protecting his charges. In this speech, I have proved that writing is truth, that it is fair, that it builds goodwill and better friendships and is beneficial to all concerned. I am happy that I now have my rebuttal for those who would decry my passion, and I take great solace in the fact that I now have comforting words for all those stoic romantics, bookworms, and would-be authors out there who may suffer as I do. We shall be strong. Thank you.